What's the most embarrassing / cringy thing you've accidentally shown someone, or something they accidentally saw, while using your phone or computer? Was talking to some cute girl, it was going well, and gave her my phone to add me on Facebook. Her profile was the first profile on the recent Facebook searches. I was kind of on the flip side of this when my uncle was going through pictures of my baby cousin on his phone and swiped too far to show me a picture of my auntie standing completely naked in a doorway. The image is still burned into my mind. Father-in-law was looking at photos on my phone with me. I got a text from my wife that said, "I've been a naughty bitch. You need to come home and slap my ass." I turned to him and said, "What kind of daughter did you raise?" I learned that day. A. Turn off preview. 3. Do not joke about a man's daughter. Way back when, I was playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. This was back when people were making funny machinima YouTube videos constantly, and I had them downloaded to my computer so I could show my friends. Then one day, I set up a very early version of Plex video streaming software on my computer, and I hook up my TV for a small party. Little did I know, Plex scans your media library and then runs out to the internet to find a cover image that Plex thinks matches your movies so that you have a thumbnail to click when you want to watch that video. For some of my WoW YouTube videos, it found pictures of orcs and elves ducking and threw that up on the screen. The girl I liked at the party, "What the duck is that?" Me, borderline speechless. I have no ducking idea. Had the minister of my church at my house. He wanted to upload music from his laptop onto my Zune. Tells you when this was. He turns it on and the Zune immediately displays a topless picture of my fiancée, a girl he's known since birth, having been best friends with her parents. He just clears his throat and says, "I didn't see that." The rest of my time with him that day was incredibly awkward, but he never brought it back up again. Edit. To clear up any confusion, the picture was on my Zune that I had taken. The pastor knew nothing about it prior to seeing it. Not exactly accidental, but when I was 15 my mom was snooping through my phone and found a text that said, "I wish I could have a girl with boobs so big I could suffocate in them." That was a cool fun time for me. Handed my mom my phone to show her a picture of something or other. Didn't think. Next thing I know, she starts swiping. "Mom, you need to stop. Right now." Swipe. Why? I never get to see your pictures. Swipe. Swipe. Stop. Attempt to grab phone. Look of horror on mom's face because I have pictures of my dick on there. Dude I used to lift with. His phone is face up on the floor next to the bench bar. Literally every day at the gym she'd be texting pics of everything. What's funnier is she'd be texting him, "Come home to have this," and he'd just keep lifting. It was odd. A friend was showing us his holiday pictures and accidentally swiped too far and showed us all a selfie of his asshole, then one of his balls, when he tried to fix it. I went skydiving with a group of buddies. The first guy out to the aircraft got a badass slow-mo video of us all coming out to the plane after him on his GoPro. Naturally we all wanted a copy of the video. He left us his GoPro to plug into our laptops as he went to grab his stuff out to his car. If you've never used a GoPro before, you know when you plug it into your computer every file pops up with little thumbnails. The first guy to copy the video can't help but notice what looks like a naked girl in one of the videos. He stupidly clicks on it. It turned out to be our buddy with his current girlfriend, and he was giving her the most violent porn-worthy throat ducking you ever saw. And to top it off, after about 5 seconds he stops, yanks her head back, and hawks up a big loogie and spits it in her mouth. We all duck and lost it. We couldn't stop laughing, and he turned it off just in time before he came back inside. He ended up marrying her, and we could never look at either of them the same ever again. Lol. In my younger years working in desktop support, we had a guy complaining that his computer was running slow. It was literally full of horse porn. This was back in the 90 MHz Pentium days and long before people had anything better than a 57.7 baud modem in their house. I had to show my boss and point out that obviously this guy was using company bandwidth. We had a fractured T1 at the time that we paid out the nose for to download non-work related material onto his company laptop, clearly in the office. This was also the same dude who got caught putting breast milk in his coffee, so there may have been a few issues there. My partner showed his friend some pictures from a vacation years ago, and he scrolled too far back, and he accidentally showed them my nudes. I was 5 feet away and died. Me and my friends played this game in high school, where we'd send each other the most vile, disgusting images we could find. We would all be playing Xbox, get bored, and someone would send some nasty shit to indicate the game has begun. We'd stop once everyone agreed that the last thing sent couldn't be topped. It almost always devolved into porn of various pop culture icons, usually in video games or cartoons. One time, my uncle called me in the middle of this game. We chat, and he asks to speak to my mom. I give my mom the phone, completely forgetting about what's happening. I go back to my Xbox, hear my troglodyte friends giggling about what they're sending, and start looking for my phone. Oh. Duck. I run downstairs, after I remember that Pandora's box of animated atrocities is opening up in my mother's ear right now. As I turn the corner, we lock eyes. Shock and disgust. She turns the phone to me, and on the screen, clear as day, is an image of Wario in a BDSM leather suit farting on a nude Princess Peach. I took the phone and never said a word. Never heard a word about it either. I went back upstairs and kept playing the game. I was helping a man with some kind of intellectual impairment download a Bible app onto his phone. I had to go into his browser to search something for him, and it was all porn. About 50 tabs open, each showing what term he'd put into Google, and the search terms were the kind that a 10-year-old would use. I finished getting him the app and attempted to peace out, although not before having to tactfully decline giving him my phone number. That would be when my sister saw my vag. We recently reconnected. We had been estranged because of my absolutely insane mother. We were laughing, talking, just generally catching up on 20 years of life, and of course we were showing one another pictures of our families/houses/friends. I thought, oh, I'll pull up Google Photos, because then she can just open albums and see each person, or whatever, all at a time, and I forgot that one of the albums is called Naughty, and Google Photos chose a very naughty pic for the album cover despite my begging it to choose another. I had the app open to an album of kid pics. When I handed it over, she closed the album, swiped to see what other albums she wanted to look at, and I heard, oh. She told her fiancé we got to know one another really well in that first meeting. Older man caught me looking at boobs on my phone during a bus ride home. I quickly scrolled up, realizing that I was in public. He leaned over and said, hey, we can share. Got off 3 stops before my own. During college my girlfriend worked night shifts, so I would sometimes crash at her place, that way I'd be there when she got off in the mornings. One night her roommates had a few people over to drink, and I, being alone, decided to crank one out. Spent about 3 to 5 minutes watching some material, wondering why the audio wouldn't work on my phone. Then I hear an eruption of laughter from the kitchen. It was a small apartment. Turns out I was the last one that connected to the Bluetooth speaker they were using, and was blasting my porn audio to an apartment full of people. I have never been so embarrassed in my life. And I laid there for what felt like an eternity afterwards, listening to them all die laughing. Sexy pics of me in lingerie, meant for my boyfriend. My mom saw them scrolling through pics from a trip I took. I shared a link to my photographer friend's website on Facebook. After she and I did a project together, I body painted some models. She took the photos. What I forgot was that there was also a page of nude photos of me from a photoshoot I had modeled for. I'm not exactly shy about nudity, but I also didn't mean to show off those pics to everybody I knew. I also once sexted nudes and dirty requests to my dad instead of my boyfriend in a drunken mistake. I didn't show this, but it was shown to me. I worked at a fast food chain as their IT guy, but started in one of the stores in the chain, and was known by all of the elderly regulars there. One of them asks me for help with something on his phone, accessing his email or something to that effect, and I instructed him to open his web browser on his phone and search for something. The very first autofill response that came up was, I accidentally impregnated my stepdaughter. Edit. For those that are curious, I unfortunately do not know if he did, in fact, impregnate his stepdaughter. My best friend convinced my girlfriend to prank me by putting up this really oddly sensual photo of a female dino character doing push-ups as the photo that pulls up on my computer when you restart it. After I was initially shocked, I actually didn't care and didn't bother to change it back. But do you know who did care? My sister. I was at a pool party and someone asked if they could use my iPod for the music. I obliged. He found a playlist with some songs he liked and put it in. I didn't realize it when the music started, but about halfway through making that particular playlist I experienced some heartache. So suddenly the pool party heard Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. I ran out of the pool and was like, oh, how'd that happen? Weird, and put in some metal. Smooth. If it happened today I'd just own it and laugh, but 17 to 18-year-old me was embarrassed. I had sent nudes to a guy I was dating. This was before I realized Google Photos saved everything. I proceed to delete everything from my phone and think I'm in the clear. Well, my ex logged into my Google Photos and saw I was sending nudes and freaked the duck out. I thought he had downloaded some hacker shit onto my phone. I figured it out eventually.